So the three best exercises, first one is the Afghan squat. The Afghan squat is the most effective, simplest exercise that you can do literally every day with zero equipment. All you need to do is pop a squat. Like you're taking a shit, drop as low as you can, try to get comfortable, and try to hold that for 2 minutes. The goal here, the gold standard for the Afghan squat is Kelly Starrett's standard of 10 minutes. So the reason why I call it an Afghan squat is because if you've been to Afghanistan, they don't have chairs. They just squat. That's their chair. They're good. They do it their whole lives. They don't have what we have here. So their hips, super open. I'm pretty sure they don't have sciatic pain in Afghanistan. Sure, they have a lot of other issues, but they do not have sciatic pain. They can pop a squat, no problem. So they never need a chair, which is pretty wicked. Build up towards it. See where you can get just on day one, and then every day just get a little bit better. Best exercise number 2. I mentioned it earlier, but take a foam roller and slap it onto your piriformis. All you need to do is cross your leg over. So take your right leg, for example, cross it over your left leg, slap the foam roller on your right butt cheek, and rock back and forth until you start howling in pain. Hold it for 30 seconds. This dramatically improved my back pain. Due to my herniations, my low back would always get jammed up, and it was partially due to the fact that I had jammed up piriformis. I had a jammed up tensor fasciae latae, which is here on my hip. I just was a mess, and I didn't know it. So start slapping that on your piriformis and see how that feels. And lastly, your tibialis anterior. So this is the outside of your shin that is really, really tender if you do a lot of walking, you do a lot of ruck marching. And if you don't police it, or even if you do a lot of running, if you don't police it, guess what? It starts to get super tight. And every time you have an issue, it's usually your neighbors that are causing the problem. So if your tibialis anterior is really tight, then the opposite side, which is the medial part of your tibia, that's where you start seeing shin splints. And you're not thinking, hey, maybe it's the outside of my shin bone that's actually causing the problem. It might be. And additionally, if this is tight, it's going to really hinder your ability to dorsiflex your foot. So that means bend your foot towards your nose. And when you walk, that's a dorsiflexion action. When you run, that's a dorsiflexion action. Poor ankle dorsiflexion leads to a ton of injuries for the military, but it's also bad just for a civvy. If you can't dorsiflex your ankle very well, you're going to start seeing things that are going to pop up. You might have a sore ankle. You might have sore knees. You might have bad hips. It all starts running up the chain. So work on that and see what the change might be with respects to a knee pain, but also shin splints if you've ever experienced them. So let's recap, guys. What is SMR? SMR is just self-myofascial release. It is a form of massage at home. So just like going to the massage therapist and having them work on your shoulder or having them work on your back, you're able to do this from home and get the exact same benefits, but for free. So that's self-myofascial release. Mobility is the ability for a joint to express its full range of motion. The reason why we do SMR is to allow that joint to move more freely. Having a joint move more freely can definitely bring down the amount of pain that may be occurring in places like your hip, knee, and back. And lastly, the 3 main exercises that you can start doing in order to start alleviating things like back and knee pain. First one is the Afghan squat. Second is SMR of your piriformis. And lastly, it is SMR of the outside of your shin or your tibialis anterior.